Welcome everyone to the LAO Centralized Access Channels and Services presentation for entity service providers. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. We are excited to give you an overview of the intake services that the public is free to access. So this session is an opportunity for you to ask any questions that you have about the range of service options LAO has available today. We welcome any feedback that you have about how the information is presented, and we will be distributing a short survey at the end of our session. We will be presenting to other external stakeholders across the province, so your help is extremely important to us. Just to introduce myself, my name is Jacqueline Cutler. I'm Business Advisor for the Operational Policy Management Department. I'm just coming out of Kingston right now. My current role is I'm responsible for planning and supporting the LAO certificate program. I'm also involved in assessing and improving business processes, particularly related to client intake and the certificate program. So I'd just like to take the opportunity to introduce my co-presenters on the call with me. So we do have John on the call, so I'll pass it over to John.
Thanks, Jackie. Hi, everyone. My name is John Haddad. I am currently the Senior Advisor for Intake Operational Support. So we kind of maintain and develop different service channels, technical tools for Legal Aid Ontario, servicing our clients. I'm a transplanted Torontonian out in the Niagara area right now, and I've been 31 short years with Legal Aid. And with that, I'll pass it to Kate.
Thank you, John. My name is Kate Nixon. I'm a business advisor with the Regional Services Business Team. The business team and the Regional Services Division has oversight over the Duty Counsel program and our direct client service programs, including our senior counsel program, summary legal advice program, and some immigration direct client services. And I will turn it over to Kristen.
Hey, I'm Kristen Lorenz. I'm a bilingual team manager at the Client Service Center. I've been with Legal Aid since 2002 and helping to train their new staff to take the calls from your clients. And I will pass over to John. John,
hey,
too.
Everyone. I'm John Versher. Just like Kristen, I work in the Client Lawyer Service Center, so Legal Aid Ontario's 1-800 number. I'm also a team manager supporting a team of client service specialists. I currently live in London, and I just celebrated 10 years with Legal Aid. I'm going to pass it over to Catherine for her introduction.
Hi, I'm Catherine. I work in the same department as Jacqueline, which is the Operations Policy Management team. And I'm a staff lawyer. I help with certificate special projects, as well as doing the appellate assessments for family and consent capacity matters. And with that, I will pass this now to Moyo.
Hi everyone, my name is Moyo. I work as a project manager for intake operations support, and today I will just be managing the chat. So if any questions come up, please feel free to put it in there or raise your hand as well, and you could do it that way. Thank you.
And lastly, we have Maria. She's on the call.
Yeah, hi there. Hi, my name is Maria. I work in the communications department as a comms advisor. I've been at LAO for about 3 years, and our department provides support for presentations like this one. I'll just be monitoring the time and making sure that everything is running as smoothly as we can with the time that we have. So thanks so much. And I think otherwise that might be everybody, right, Jacqueline?
Yep.
Great.
Big group. All right. So just to let you know, we will be sharing a copy of this PowerPoint slide, so no need to take a lot of notes. So we will be sending that out to you guys. So just before we get started, I'd just like to start with the land acknowledgement. So I'd just like to acknowledge that Kingston is situated on the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee. I acknowledge their enduring presence on this land, as well as the presence of Métis, Inuit, and First Nations from across Turtle Island. I honor their cultures and celebrate their commitment to this land. The territory we now know as Ontario was and is governed by treaties from the Peace and Friendship Treaties to the Numbered Treaties, all of which bind many nations to share those territories and protect the land in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. We recognize that we must do more to learn about the rich history of this land so that we can better understand our roles and responsibilities. Myself and my colleagues actively acknowledge our nation's commitment to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls to action, the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, and the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, Girls, and Two-Spirit Report's calls for justice. So just over the past couple of years, working with many LAO departments and regional staff, Legal Aid has been working to improve the way we serve clients, including streamlining access, intake, and eligibility processes, as well as introducing new digital services. So by focusing on widening clients' access points, Legal Aid has made it easier for a client to get the information they need, making applications easier for clearly eligible clients, and allowing applicants to go back and update any information made at their point of intake. So to move with changing client capabilities, Legal Aid now offers a variety of ways to connect with us beyond the phone. So the operations division of Legal Aid, and in collaboration with many business units, has made significant changes and advancements in the way LAO serves clients. So our main objective for running these sessions is to inform and assist stakeholders with sharing information so that clients are empowered to submit their own online applications for legal aid and to manage their online account with greater ease. Also, just to understand how various options to apply for legal aid certificates may suit different client characteristics and needs. We will share the key aspects of all LAO centralized intake channels and some tools on how to locate service providers taking certificates. So today's focus is on helping to ensure that you're aware of the different access channels, especially some of our newer service channels and options for more of our at-risk or vulnerable clients. And our purpose today is to provide you with up-to-date information that can assist you with serving our clients. And we trust the session will allow you to assist clients and to inform them on the aspects of applying for legal aid. And we hope after the session, you'll feel well equipped to refer clients to our services. So just a little bit of background about the certificate program. So the LAO certificate is a document that we provide our clients that confirms that we will pay for their legal aid lawyer. The client can then bring this document to a legal aid lawyer of their choosing to receive the help that they need. There are 6 key areas of law that are covered under the certificate program. So the first one is defense of criminal charges where there is a risk of incarceration if convicted. We also cover the appeal and conviction of sentence where there's merit. And then we offer family matters. We offer certificates for family matters, including decision-making responsibility, parenting time, support, appeal of and as well as appeal of decisions from family court, as well as child protection, including supervision orders, voluntary care agreements, interim and extended society care, and status reviews, as well as appeal of final court orders for CYFSA matters. We also cover refugee and immigration matters, including basis of claim, refugee hearings, humanitarian and compassionate ground applications, judicial review of decisions. We offer coverage for mental health law, which includes Ontario Review Board hearings and consent and capacity hearings. And then finally, we also offer coverage for prison law matters, for parole hearings, disciplinary matters, internal transfers, etc. So just to summarize what we'll be talking about today. So these are the primary access channels. And within each access channel, there are various service options available. So the first one that you more likely to know about, and it's our most commonly known access point, is our contact center. And then the newest access point is live chat. So certificate applications are not processed through this channel right now. However, our chat staff can provide basic information for individuals to help them understand LAO services, including the certificate program. And then we have our client portal, and this is our online self-service option. And LAO is committed to continually enhancing the service channel. And you will be able to access a video series that will be made available to you that will highlight the functions that are available, and we'll be providing a demo during this presentation. And then finally, we have our assisted application. So these are our forms that lawyers and select service providers can email LAO to facilitate a certificate application on behalf of their client. So we will speak to who is best suited to using these various access points as we progress through our session today. So just a brief explanation about accessibility at LAO. So we will be highlighting these symbols throughout the presentation. So these will be displayed for the channels that we highlight today. Just note that accessibility is a priority in all certificate intake channels. We will be highlighting what the best channels are based on the accessibility needs. So you'll see these symbols highlighted throughout this session. So for hearing impairment, we utilize Bell Relay, so 711. So clients can access service that supports communication by phone between hearing people and people who are deaf, deafened, hard of hearing, or those with speech difficulties. And then for French-speaking clients, under the French Language Services Act, the public has the right to communicate with and receive services from legal aid in French, and not through an interpretation service in designated bilingual areas of the province. As well as our interpretation service, we do use frequently, LAO will provide and fund an interpreter for clients' meetings or speaking with LAO staff. And then finally, for clients with visual impairments, we have materials that are available on request in accessible formats such as large print, braille, and audio. With that, I'll just pass it over to Kristen, who'll talk about the contact center.
Hey, Kristen, I just think you're on mute right now.
Yeah, that's that whole mute thing. Sorry. Thanks, Jackie, and Kate for pointing that out. The contact center offers services over the phone. Services are available Monday to Friday during regular business hours from 8 until 5. It is best suited for those who prefer to speak to someone in real time. Interpretation is available for those who speak language that is not English or French. This channel screens for general inquiries at this stage, and for those who are not suitable for legal aid services, we provide referrals for services within legal aid, including summary legal advice and the callback services for family and criminal matters, the clinics and external resources. Currently, this is supported by the Service Location Finder tool that is launching on our website next year. We process certificate applications for all matters within legal aid coverage areas. Most clients will receive a decision on eligibility within the same day. We provide full support for immediate and longer-term client needs, including requests for review for certificate application decisions and change of lawyer applications. This channel also has a dedicated in-custody phone service where wait times are reduced due to these clients having limited time on the phone. The contact center also includes a lawyer advice service available from 8:30 to 4:45 for emergency law, family law needs. This can include clients who are experiencing domestic violence and have limited window that they can call safely, where safety is a concern. CAS has notified a client saying that they're removing their child, or a client is calling from a jurisdiction outside of Ontario and is seeking advice on an Ontario family matter. The live advice queue is also for clients who are calling with a support person due to mental health challenges or finding it difficult to coordinate callbacks. They're unhoused, inpatient in hospital, or are having to use a service provider's phone or payphone and are not able to receive callbacks. Although the most comprehensive service channel, the service is restricted to regular business hours and may not work for everyone. So if you have any questions, please let us know in the chat or on pause. And seeing none, what I'll do is pass it over to John.
Thanks, Kristen. So I'm going to be talking about the chat self-service feature. Chat is the newest access point to the organization, available in both English and French. A representative is available to respond to general inquiries on the external Legal Aid Ontario website. Chat staff do not ask any personal information or ask for any case-related information during the chat interaction. Clients have the ability to print or email themselves a copy of the chat transcript, as well as provide feedback about their experience at the end of the chat interaction. Chat is available on all 300 pages of the Legal Aid Ontario website. Currently, chat services are available from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. The average wait time to chat with a specialist is 16 seconds. We receive on average 64 chats per day, which is potentially 64 less calls per day to our contact center. So feel free to promote the chat feature on the website for those who may have questions about Legal Aid Ontario services. Although this channel offers chat support, its services are limited to information only during regular business hours and may require another channel to progress matters further. This may not be suitable for all. I can also pause for any questions on the chat feature. And if there are none, I'm actually going to pass it over for John to do a demo on the client portal product.
Thanks, John. Okay, so I'll be talking to you about our client portal that's available to our clients 24/7. We have very rare outages for updates and service patches, but primarily we're available all year round. There's opportunity to make your application and receive a real-time response if the client is eligible for legal aid. We have other opportunities beyond just making applications. We have a tool to help them find counsel for their legal matter. They can update their information with Legal Aid Ontario, their address, their preferred language, their email. They can do that online. They can upload documents that Legal Aid is requested or they wish to provide to us. They can electronically sign their consent and declaration documents. And they have the opportunity to also review the current status of applications or their ongoing certificates. So with that being said, I'm going to share my screen so we can kind of walk through the process so you can see what is entailed to apply for legal aid via the client portal.
John, while you're doing that, we just have a hand raised as well.
Oh, please.
From Akanksha, if you, for a question there, please.
I apologize. It might have been by mistake.
Okay, no worries.
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'm guessing we're not seeing my screen as yet, or hold on, this could do it, I think.
Now we can see it, John.
Amazing. Thanks, Kate. Appreciate it. Okay, so this is our client portal login page. And before I start, I'm going to apologize in advance if I'm talking really quickly and trying to get us through this. Just we're limited for time. If I'm going too quick, if there's things that I'm glossing over that you want more information, please put it in the chat, come off mute. I'm happy to repeat anything, or if I'm just going too quick in general to slow down, again, happy to do that as well. We're just, I apologize, just we're limited for time. So the client portal, of course, can be found on an external website. This is our homepage, and we have three distinct types of situations for our legal aid clients. We have our group. Our first group is individuals who are in our home system, which we call PeopleSoft. Pardon me, and they have a client number, and they've already created a profile within the client portal. So they would simply just enter their user ID, their password, just like any website, click sign in, and they're off to the races, and they can log in. Our second group are individuals who have applied for legal aid in the past. They have a client number, but have never onboarded within the client portal. And our last group is a group that we're going to kind of demonstrate is the individuals that are brand new to legal aid. They have no interactions with us in the past. They need assistance now for a legal matter, a family law matter, children's aid matter, criminal matter, immigration. excuse me, they can apply just from scratch here as well. So what they would do is click Get Started here. And then they're presented this blurb indicating what is available to them. Because they're brand new, at this first opportunity, all they're going to be able to do is make an application. The ability to check the status, upload documents isn't necessarily relevant to them yet. It will be once they submit their first application, of course, but at this juncture, really their only available course of action is to complete an application. Like I mentioned, it's family, children's aid, criminal, pardon me, I'm sorry, and refugee and immigration. I'm in a test environment, and that just happened to be taken out of there for an unknown reason. They were built the client portal. There's opportunities in the portal. So for example, here, you don't own property. You can still own property and be eligible for legal aid. That's unquestioned. You just can't apply it via the client portal. This is deemed clearly eligible. At this juncture, we're going to be expanding the thresholds to apply via the portal in the near future. But right now, if you own property, you're precluded from continuing. But you can definitely call us, and you're still eligible, potentially eligible. You must be in receipt of either Ontario Works or ODSP, or you have no source of income as you're brand new to Canada. You have no source of income and you're currently staying in a shelter. And lastly, no source of income as you're currently in custody. Those are the thresholds to be eligible to continue your application via the portal. So right away, we're asked if you wish to proceed via English or French. For our demonstration, we'll select English. Have you applied for legal aid before? So this is encompassing our second group. So if I said yes, they would ask for my client number, enter my name, date of birth, and we'd do a validation to our current system and then see, oh yes, this is in fact the same individual, and let them proceed. If it's, they would check and say, oh, actually you already have a portal ID, we'd send you back to the login page. And if you're brand new, we'd just revert you back to this page earlier. So for this example, we're brand new, so I'm going to say no, never applied before. And what do you want to do? So because I'm brand new, like I mentioned, we can only make a new application. Other will just give us a message to call. If I wanted to speak to somebody, had a question, maybe our chat service might be a better opportunity, or calling us, but this will just stop this application at this point. Do you live in Ontario? I do. Your income. So, pardon me. We have those same criteria we mentioned earlier: OW, ODSP. I'm a youth living with a parent or caregiver. If this is selected, we then immediately ask about the parent or caregiver source of income, and they have to meet these same parameters. Otherwise, I have no income as I'm in jail, no income as I'm new to Canada, and no income I'm in shelter. Other is the vast array of different income sources of employment, full and part-time, EI, workman's comp, pension, CPP, OAS, the whole gamut that's available to our clients. Other will stop them and they'll be given a message to call us. This will be changing in the near future as well, where we'll allow all income sources to apply online. Right now, that's just not available at this moment. So I'm going to select Ontario Works, click Next. Do you own any real estate in Ontario? I do not. If I said yes, they would be directed to call us. Is your legal case in Ontario? It is. Select Next. So here are the legal matters that they're available to apply via the portal: criminal charges, family, children's aid, refugee and immigration, and other. So if it was a landlord and tenant matter, which falls in the other category, they would be redirected. We don't have the scripting for all of our coverage at this time. That, again, will be changing. But right now, for our demonstration, I'm just going to select family and select Next. So we're asking the client, are you starting or responding to a family court case? Are you changing a family court order, i.e. variation, or is there an other type of matter that's ongoing? So for our demonstration, I'm just going to say I'm starting something brand new and click next. As I've selected family law, I am given, the client is presented 3 domestic violence questions, which they would be asked if they called the call center as well. This is just trying to help us understand client situation, what type of coverage the lawyer also needs to perform for the individual, and it also has background financial implications for us as well, expanded coverage for our clients who are suffering domestic violence. So does the other party cause you to fear for your safety or safety of your children? For the demonstration, I'm going to say yes. They have the opportunity to say yes, no, and they do not wish to answer. So that's applicable for all 3 opportunities. All questions: have you or your children ever experienced any physical violence by the other party? I'll say yes here again. And lastly, has the other party tried to control you by telling you where to go, who you can talk to, limiting access to money? I'm just cut off there, making or unable to make good decisions about anything. I'm going to say yes to that. Select next.
Hi, John. We just
Hi,
have one question that has come up.
please.
It's just for the application for highway offenses. Does it include DUI?
Absolutely. So with criminal charges, we don't have every charge in the criminal code, but we definitely have driving while intoxicated. We then go through what we call a risk to liberty stream of questions, which determine the client's eligibility. The legal eligibility threshold for criminal application for legal aid is, are you going to jail if you're found guilty or plead guilty? That's our threshold. So first time impaireds are not going to jail. So we have a series of questions, and we have actually unique questions for impaireds. And that will drive you through the set of questions. And if you meet our criteria because you've had past impaireds, you're currently on probation, there was injuries, there was a whole host of things to meet the mitigating, aggravating factors, you would be deemed potentially eligible for legal aid. Legally eligible, that is. Hopefully that answered that question. If there's more to it that we can discuss, please let me know in the chat, and I'm happy to talk about it. Do you have a final court order involving the same person? I do not. So there's some help text there at the end of these questions. Family court order, in order that decides a family law case, just to give you some plain language explanations for our clients, what we mean. So I'm going to say I do not. This is all brand new. As we process there for a moment. Here are the issues within the family law matter. So it's custody, access, child support, spousal, division of property, restraining order, and other. So if I'm going to say for the demo, it's the custody, access, child support, and restraining order due to the DV component. Every check mark I have is built into the code to determine what wordings and coverage the lawyer will receive on the certificate upon issuance. So depending on what I select will drive the hours and the coverage the lawyer gets for the client. Select next. Do you or your other party agree on all family law issues? Unfortunately, we do not agree. Do you think you can communicate and come to an agreement with the other party? Unfortunately not. So now we've answered that whole stream of questions. You'll notice that we never asked client's name, date of birth, address, any identifying information from the client at that juncture. We were trying to ascertain, is this individual potentially eligible for legal aid with our restrictive criteria within the portal? So this is what we call pre-screening. So we're trying to walk them through all the questions to determine, yes, this seems like there's someone that's eligible. So this is the summary of all the pre-screening questions. The client has the opportunity to review everything they've been asked and their responses. If they were so inclined to change a response, they can click back here and make a change to their answer. Now, of course, depending on what they change in the script could immediately impact the subsequent questions that display. Like if I went here, oh, this isn't family, actually, this is criminal. I was charged with a domestic assault. This is, and I change it to criminal. Of course, all of these related family law matter questions would no longer be relevant and would go into the criminal stream of questions. But for our demonstration, everything was accurate. I scroll through and say, yes, this is good. I click next. And this is where we first start capturing the client's information. So I'm just going to quickly enter the information. Again, I'm in a test environment, so this is not going to our production database. And because I'm in a test environment, I have to use my legal aid email address, just so the system recognizes it. Otherwise, it's not whitelisted and it will just be blocked. When we ask for the mobile number, that's exclusively to capture the client's this onboarding process. We ask for a 2-factor authentication, a 4-digit PIN. So if I click this, this means they can receive that PIN via text, and the subsequent times they log into the portal, they'll always have to provide a PIN generated by legal aid. They can either get it by email or by their mobile device via text. So that's just where that's coming from. No other information is being relayed that in other manner. Many of our clients, as you all well know, could be facing homelessness, houselessness. So a lot of our clients, when they call, will have NFA, no fixed address, and postal code is not mandatory in our home system, in our PeopleSoft system, but in the portal it is, because it drives which area location within the province that we assign this particular case to. So postal code is mandatory. So if your clients have a fixed address, I would recommend just using a mailing address, because that postal code, if they put in an invalid postal code within the right, if they put it incorrect format, we'll give you an error message. But if it's the right format and not recognized by Canada Post, it will preclude them from being eligible for an automated decision. It will force this application to one of our staff members on a work list to be reviewed manually. So it's just an important feature just to put in a valid postal code. So I'm going to click submit. And upon submission, in the background, it is generating an email for me that will ask me to validate my email for legal aid. So I'm just going to go into my inbox, and thankfully it is there for us. And the email, the format of the email is something we're changing as well, but just for speed's sake, I'm just going to quickly click here to confirm your email. That's the link they need to select. Another page displays, and it's almost a secondary validation. Thank you for confirming. Haddad JD at LAO, is your legal aid address used for, and this is, I agree to confirm my email. So upon that selection, in the background, what is happening is the system is checking my email. And because this is a test environment, it recognizes, oh, I've seen this one before. So what is going to happen is going to create a portal invitation email. And because my email is recognized, it's going to give me a client number to use as my user ID. If my email was brand new to the system, it would provide the client their user ID, their user ID to be their email address. So in the not too distant future, if you're helping your client, you could use your work email to help them log into the portal. Going forward, that's going to be limited to a one-time event where if we recognize the email within the system, we're going to give you a message saying this is existing, we need a net new email. There's a host of reasons. I would be happy to get into it, but just for time's sake, it's a security concern. There's some risk mitigation strategies that we have to implement, that why we're limiting one email within the system. Anybody who has existing emails, like we have individuals with over 100, if they're a translator, service worker, they could, they're going to maintain those. We'll never take those away, but going forward, we would stop it. So this is a portal invitation email. You can see I've given a new client number and my temporary password. So I'm just going to click the link to get back to the sign-in page where we first started. And I am going to paste my brand new client number, return and grab my temporary password, enter it into the password field, into the portal, click sign in, and now I'm going to be within the client portal structure now. We haven't finished our onboarding, we're steps closer. And I apologize, this is just a test environment. The server speed here is not. So here is where we are asked for our two-factor authentication. This is true every time I would log into the portal. You can see here I had the opportunity to receive it via email or text. Just for the demonstration, I'll just send it via email so we can kind of see what that looks like. And thankfully that's been sent. And here it is. I can see here that 6179 is the code. 6179, click continue. And now, because this is my first time my first time logging into the portal, this is a one-time event. They'll be given the terms and conditions, and they can scroll through this. And again, for speed's sake, I'm just going to click accept. If they click decline, they're taken back out of the portal if they don't wish to sign it. Of course, that's absolutely their right to do so, but they're just taken out back to the sign-in page. This is another page that we're looking to improve in the near future. We're asked for a secondary validation. So this is just asking the client to re-enter their date of birth. And this is important. This is a second activation code that we require. So a lot of people use the first one we just received, thinking to type it in here and get stuck. Actually, what we need is a secondary one. And again, they'll never see this page after this one time. Going forward, they'll never have to do this step again. So here's our second one, 2951. I come back here and type that in, 2951, click submit. Okay, so now we're getting one step closer again. So the current password is the password that we were given in that portal invitation email. I will create a secure password for me here as a client. So this is what I'll be using going forward. We asked them for a password recovery question. We have 5 options. We're going to expand that list in, again, the near future. Click submit. That's great. Successfully been changed. Click OK. Now we're back to our questions for the individual making their application. And this is our client profile set of questions. We have a disclaimer here why we're asking this information. We appreciate that this is not a fulsome list to self-identify your gender. We have many future options to be presented, but right now these are the 3 that are available. So I'm just going to select one here. Then we ask, what is your current immigration status? Client can review all the different options, whatever is appropriate for them. They can select. Now we have our Indigenous self-identifying question here. Again, we've met with many people and we know this, again, is not a fulsome list of opportunities to self-identify. So we have a whole course of action to take to expand this list, provide opportunities if you don't wish to self-identify. That's also an opportunity which we're lacking right now. So just for the demonstration, I'm going to say, pardon me, I'm going to say yes, just to show you the functionality. Do you self-identify as First Nation, Métis, or Inuit? Yes. If yes, is it First Nation, Inuit, Métis, or other? I'm going to select First Nation. And then we have subsequent questions: status, non-status, on reserve, off reserve. These follow-up questions are also being reviewed. When we built this over 10 years ago, they were necessary for statistical purposes that we were reporting to the Ministry of Attorney General. I don't know, we don't believe they're no longer necessary, so we're looking at removing those. If they're not necessary, we don't feel there's no need to ask. And then we pivot over into the race-based questions. And again, we have a blurb explaining why we're asking these questions. And now they have the opportunity to review all their options. And here, thankfully, they have the opportunity to say, I don't know, and I prefer not to answer, is a valid, fully acceptable response. But just because I've self-identified earlier, I'm just going to continue that just to be consistent. Select next. And now we're going into, when it displays, into the financial stream of questions. So this is just asking what best describes your living situation. You'll notice all the help text here at the end. These are our drop-down values: renter, jail paying boarder, shelter, homeless, youth at home, hospital. These are our, language definitions to help pick what's appropriate. For my demonstration, I'm just going to select renter. What is your family size? Again, family members, what that means to legal aid, so they can make an appropriate entry. They have the opportunity to just simply type that in there, or they can come off to the side in the field and increase it to whatever is the appropriate amount. How much do you have in liquid assets? Again, here's legal aid's definition of what liquid assets means. And I'll just put in a value here. Is anyone helping you complete the application? So if you're helping one of your clients and you said yes, just want to show you what that looks like. So please select from the list. Here are the different opportunities, the different groups of individuals that could be helping the client. And then follow-up question, name. Now, if you have concern, I can say definitively, we've never followed up with anybody. This is not looking to track people down by any means. This is just information for us to help track the volume of people being assisted and who's assisting them. If we see, wow, 90% of your criminal applications require somebody to be assisted, then maybe we're not doing a good enough job with our clarity of our questions, and gives us opportunity to review and simplify the path to apply. And just put the phone number, and you can put your work phone number and work email. And because I indicated this individual, we're asking for, they have two opportunities to confirm that for us. Is we have this hover over text. We're asking for the member ID. This is just showing them their check stub where they might find it. Across the province, we all know that every check actually looks different and formatted differently, but they all have a member ID. So they can type in, pardon me, their 9 digits. And because I'm in a test environment, I can put in a non-valid number, or they can upload an image of their check stub. Either or, completely valid, acceptable. We've had individuals do both, but that isn't necessary. Just one or the other would be great. Click next. And now with the next, this is going to be displaying the lawyer page. The lawyer page, we ask, does the client have a lawyer? If they say no, we then they'll use our Find a Lawyer tool. This will provide them lawyers within a proximity search of their residence or the court matter, whatever they put in for their location. And all these lawyers accept legal aid for their legal matter that they're applying for. So by default, we know this is a family law matter. The list will only display family law lawyers. So here we go. So if I said no, this is the Find a Lawyer tool that we can click here. Conversely, if I said yes, we want to know, have you paid any money to your lawyer? If I said yes, they will just ask how much. If I say no, we just continue on. What is your lawyer's name? So I'll have the opportunity to scroll through all of the hundreds of legal aid lawyers that accept family law, or if I know name, it has a smart search, and I can just type in Smith and pick Shannon completely at random. Of course, your client wouldn't be picking at random, but I'm selecting that. Okay, and when we select the lawyer, I'm hoping you guys are able to hear me. I've never seen these messages appear before. The lawyer's phone and their location display here, just to help confirm in case there happen to be more than one Shannon Smith accepting family law certificates in the province. We just want to make sure that they're picking the correct individual, and we give them a little blurb here letting them know they can't just change their lawyer. They need approval from legal aid. It's very important to pick their lawyer carefully. They'll click next. And this is the consent and declaration. This is the last step in the application process. This is just confirming everything they told us is true, to the best of their knowledge. They must disclose any changes to us. All these items throughout here, they of course would read very carefully. I'm just going to scroll to the bottom and click accept. And then click OK. And with that, I am completed from having no relationship with Legal Aid Ontario to now completing my family law application. In production, it takes about 10 seconds for a decision to be made, and that decision is either one of two things. Either it is automated decision of approval, or B, they would receive a notice via email that their application is being reviewed, and we will be receiving our decision within 5 business days. And if it's been approved, also at the same time I'm approved, my lawyer, Shannon Smith, in this instance, will also be getting a notification that I've been approved for legal aid, and they could acknowledge the certificate right now if it was in their solicitor portal, and it could actually start working on my matter right now. I could be doing that. I've seen individuals complete their application, the lawyer acknowledge it, and then they're working in the same, 5-10 minutes. So it's really great. So let me just show you, let me just check to see if we have our approval. No, it hasn't come through yet. And again, I apologize. It's just because of the test environment is a little bit slower than our production. But just quickly, I think we have a minute or two. The other functionalities. So tonight at 7 p.m., the batch process will run. I know this will be approved. Tonight at 7, it's going to send me a document of confirmation of legal eligibility. So next time I log in, I will see all the coverage my lawyer is getting, all the hours they're getting to work on my family law matter. If in any documents I review, like the consent and declaration, as soon as I review it, it reverts over into this history tab, and it's there in perpetuity. You can see when it was received and when it was acknowledged. So it's always there. Tonight at 7 p.m. in my recent tab, it'll be waiting. I click it, I view it, it'll transfer into history. Legal aid applications. If I want to make another application, I just click start a new application. I don't need to do all those other things we did initially. I just go right into the legal questions, into the pre-screening. Active cases, this will allow them to check the status of their application very shortly, this will show that my application's been approved. And then my file upload, this is just allowing them to upload documents. If they called and we said, oh, we need your bank account and your OW stub, your last 3 check stubs, whatever it is, they can upload it through this format here. My profile, this gives them the opportunity to edit any changes. So opposed to calling us and say, hey, I've moved, they can simply come in here, click edit, and they can change anything except their first name, last name, and date of birth. They can change their immigration status, their preferred language. If I change it to French, anything subsequent will now come to me in French. I can change my address. I can change my phone. And if I want to change my email, I just have to, of course, just click change email opposed to edit. So just here. And then we have resources, final alert tool, satisfaction survey, FAQs, and a glossary of terms. And this language field here just allows me to pivot between English or French. So again, I apologize for going through it so quickly, speaking so fast, but if there's any questions, happy to answer it. Otherwise, I think it's Catherine's turn.
So we do have one question in the chat. I think you
Please.
spoke to it a little bit, but
Okay.
the question is, does the client have to select the lawyer on their end, or can they do nothing and then the lawyer can acknowledge the claim?
Okay. Could you repeat that? I just want to make sure I get that accurate.
So does the client have to select the lawyer on their end, or can they do nothing and then the lawyer can acknowledge the claim? I think this is when
Okay.
you're selecting the lawyers
Right.
in the application. Yeah.
That's a great question. So, if I didn't know my lawyer's name, I haven't made a decision yet, and I left it blank, and I'm approved for legal aid, I can tell, and then I discovered, oh, Shannon Smith is my lawyer. So when I'm talking with them, I have the opportunity to say, oh, I've been approved for legal aid. Here's my client number. Here's my certificate number. That individual can log into their solicitor portal, enter that information, pull up my certificate, and acknowledge it. Now, that's only true of, there's a couple of parameters around that. No other lawyers listed on that. So if I put Shannon here initially, and then I went to Fred and gave Fred that information, when Fred tried to acknowledge it, he couldn't do it because Shannon's already on there. Now, if Shannon is my criminal lawyer, but doesn't do family law, and I gave them my client number and certificate number, they would enter it in, and then they would be told, you're not on the proper panel. So there's a little bit of yes, a little bit of no, but primarily they do not have to give a lawyer's name. They can find their lawyer after the fact, give them the client number, certificate number, and the lawyer can acknowledge that certificate without the client's intervention at that point. Hopefully that answers that question.
Perfect. That's the
Thank
only
you,
question
John.
right now, John.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right. This is the Assisted Applications service. This channel offers a variety of service partners the ability to submit by email a form they fill in with details about the applicant's legal needs and financial situation. This is for a new certificate, not to change existing coverage. They may be an existing client or a new applicant for services. The forms used for this channel are available in English and French, but a service provider who utilizes other languages can complete the forms on behalf of the linguistic needs of their client. Also, the forms may be completed and submitted within the business hours of the service partner, which may vary from some of our other channels and be more accessible to a client. On average, LAO receives electronically by email at this time about 1,732 assisted applications per month. This provides assistance to some of LAO's most vulnerable clients. These applications are processed by LAO staff who receive them in a centralized email box. The processing takes about 3 to 5 business days, although many are completed in less time. Eligibility is determined in the first instance for legal and financial eligibility when the forms are reviewed by the staff. Contact information for follow-up is key for staff to clarify any information. Lawyers and other selected service partners are using the assisted applications forms for those who don't speak or read English or French, have low literacy skills, live in communities or institutions without access to the phone or internet. For example, some of the entities in the remote north have access to the forms due to the lack of consistent access to digital services. Also, those who have difficulty traveling to offices, courts, or clinics, or for those that may be uncomfortable using technology, and for any persons who are struggling with in-person or phone intake access. The assisted application has been very helpful to youth needing help expediting an application for a Section 25 order when they're navigating criminal charges in the youth court system. Like the portal, this service is offered to those who have a fixed low income, OW, ODSP, no income, or those that are new to Canada and have no income. It has also been very successful for those in custody having problems getting to a phone. Coverage is available for criminal matters, child protection proceedings, family law where domestic violence has been experienced by the applicant, and immigration and refugee matters at this time. This option is used by approved stakeholders and service providers as they receive training and an extensive overview of how to complete the assisted application form for the program. Currently, roster lawyers, those are our panel lawyers, LAO duty counsel, our staff lawyers, including our senior family and criminal programs, and our Bridges Duty Council lawyers are using the form, as well as the Office of the Public Guardian and Trustee, select mental health court workers, and some Indigenous friendship centers in remote areas. For clinics, there was a pilot, and the pilot concluded that although the testing of the clinics was tried, assisting clients in the portal works very well for clinic workers. Although this access option is on the increase, the portal, once you've used it, is still one of the most accessible and appropriate channels when you can assist the person online in a supporting role. Any staff at clinics can assist the person with their application on the portal. The portal is best for many of our vulnerable clients when they have your assistance. Thank you, and we'll leave any questions on this assisted applications to the end of the presentation.
Thanks, Catherine. So on this slide, we are focusing on the services available for family law matters. We're speaking about in-person local services, but there are local services available for other types of legal proceedings under certificate coverage areas in person. In family law, Legal Aid Ontario focuses on supporting survivors of family violence through the 2-hour family violence authorization, through scheduling and facilitation of Legal Aid Ontario mediation and settlement conferences with counsel, and roster management to ensure specialists in family violence take these types of certificates. Legal Aid Ontario prioritizes individual vulnerabilities and is committed to ensuring our services are easily available to these specialized groups. We recognize that the most vulnerable are at risk if they face challenges that prevent them from accessing our services through the phone, website, or through lawyers. And for this reason, while not the primary access channel, in-person assistance remains available when required. An individual in need of help at a local office or in court will always be served to get the help they need, may it be connecting to services or help with a specific case. Local staff are attuned to client needs and respond promptly, taking a hands-on approach to work with judicial partners to expedite service where possible. Staff are available in local courts and offices to provide in-person assistance in connecting people to service when necessary. In-person access channels are available for those who have various challenges that make accessing Legal Aid Ontario services through the phone, portal, or portal channels very difficult, impossible, or a risk to their safety. So when would a client refer a client to an in-person service? You might refer a client who has a legal aid certificate and having difficulty finding a lawyer to take their case. We will speak to these options in the following slides. If a client is having difficulty accessing services through the contact center or online, in-person certificate intake in exceptional circumstances for hard-to-serve and vulnerable clients is available in person, particularly when required on an urgent basis. You may also refer a client to an in-person service if a client is having difficulty mailing or submitting requests and documents online. We can move on now to duty counsel services. Duty counsel lawyers are available on the day of a client's family law proceeding, and in some instances may assist a client when they go before the judge. Duty counsel cannot represent clients in court cases on an ongoing basis like a certificate lawyer. Duty counsel do not work for a client before the next court date, but can provide advice and guidance at a specific court event or provide information about how to get ready for the next appearance. Duty counsel can assist with CYFSA matters, so a place of safety and status review, emergency motions without notice, document preparation or motions to change, case conferences, family responsibility office matters, first appearance and adjournment, and public legal information and referrals to other agencies. You can find more information about duty counsel on Legal Aid's website, which is listed on this slide here. We can move on now to other family court services. Family law offices are staffed with experienced family lawyers and paralegals that can assist clients with retaining a lawyer, including but not restricted to areas of decision-making responsibility, custody, parenting time, access by a parent, contact, access by a non-parent, support, child protection, restraining orders, equalization claims, property division, and at all levels of court, including trial and appellate work. Referrals are provided by FLIC or Family Duty Counsel. Free Legal Aid Ontario mediation services are available in Milton, Ottawa, Brampton, and Peel, or refer to other mediators offered on a sliding scale. We have family law offices located in Thunder Bay, Kenora, and Ottawa. The Ottawa office is called the Ottawa Integrated Legal Services Office, also referred to as ILSO. There are 6 family law service center offices that are located in Windsor, Sarnia, Chatham, Toronto Central, Toronto North, Peel, Newmarket, and Welland. Please note, Legal Aid Ontario is presently building up its Family Senior Counsel program, which is new. These additional staff lawyers are expected to help those finding it difficult to retain a lawyer with their certificate, for those with special vulnerabilities that need special support from their own lawyer. We can move on to the ILSO slide. So Integrated Legal Services Offices serves eligible low-income people in Ottawa, Kingston, Belleville, Perth, Brockville, Napanee, Hawkesbury, Pembroke, and Cornwall. This office can provide full representation via a legal aid certificate or advice on mediation as an alternative to the court process. It also provides help with decision-making responsibility, parenting time, support, property and/or divorce, and child protection. In-person services are available on Tuesdays and Thursdays by appointment. It also supports the 2-hour family violence program through consultation and advice services, and assists with landlord and tenant matters. So this is representation for clients facing eviction. The Ottawa Legal Clinic can make a referral. This office also provides representation for ODSP appeals and negative decision. Again, the Ottawa Legal Clinic can make a referral. It also assists with immigration and refugee law matters, including pre-removal risk assessments and humanitarian and compassionate matters via certificate representation for eligible clients. It also coordinates immigration detention review programs, ensuring representation of incarcerated clients in the Eastern District by both staff and roster lawyers, and the Immigration Advice Clinic, which runs Wednesday mornings by appointment. I'll turn it over to you, Jackie.
Hi, it's Stacy. I'm going to close out, and sorry I missed introductions. I'm Stacy Huxtable. I'm with External Relations, and I get the pleasure to close out this session, and thank you all for being here today. If you do have any questions, please reach out to us in External Relations, and we'll make sure your question gets answered. Our general email is external.relations@lao.on.ca, and I'll put that in the chat. So we will be following up this session with resources to assist you with referring to our services, including we have a step-by-step instruction to create an online account in the portal that John showed you. So we have instructions for that we will send out. We also really do appreciate any feedback, and we just put a link to a survey in the chat. It just helps us improve on our services and how we can work to expand and enhance these channels. So we do hope that you could take the time to share your experience with us today. So thank you again. Please, if you have any questions, now is the time, or you can put it in the chat or come off mute. And if not, thank you again for joining us.